And again, this is a cell in just to the north of Highway 70, going through the central and northern portions of St. Charles County. That is moving to the northeast. It's moving to the northeast at 75 miles an hour. And as it goes, just its forward speed alone is going to cause problems. Just the idea that this storm is going so fast, its forward speed is going to combine with any straight line winds that it generates. And so there's going to be, I think there's going to be some pretty decent wind damage. That's a poor choice in words, but we could see some significant wind damage from straight line winds just from the storm's forward motion, 75 miles an hour, combining with the outflow from the storm itself, which would be all up through these areas. Next stop would be Wilkie and Brussels and Elsa, and then of course there is the hail. This is a storm that may produce very large hail. We've had reports of 1.75-inch diameter hail in a number of places. 2.5-inch diameter hail was reported earlier over way out in Osage County, but still, come on now. And then on this graphic, I want to show you, this is a picture sent to us from one of our viewers. And on this graphic, this is a picture of a guy holding in his hand a number of hailstones. So let's go to graphics, Bob Clark. This is from St. Charles County. This is a picture sent to us from Scott Arnold, and there you have the variations of hail structure. Most of these are nice and smooth, but you see that little one up there in the northwestern portion of your corner. That is a sign. The hail in and of itself is a sign of a very strong and turbulent storm, but then the shape of that hail tells you just how turbulent it is. It got all messed up. It wasn't very clean when it reached the surface, but it did reach the surface. Back to TrueView we go, back to our radar we go, and just this reminder, we're looking at a tornado warning that's still alive until 5:15 for the northern portion of Calhoun County, northwestern Greene County, and for almost all of central and eastern Pike County in Illinois. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for central and eastern St. Charles County, but this includes parts of St. Louis County too, central and southern Calhoun County, northwestern portion of Madison County, up in Jersey County, and in the western and northwestern portions of Macoupin County down into the central and southern portions of Greene County. Then there is this other line. This is maybe the next line to produce extremely large hail. There's a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for areas to the west of St. Louis that include Franklin, Gasconade, and Montgomery counties, and this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 5:15. These storms may produce a tornado, but the main threat at this moment in time is just from very large hail and extremely strong winds. We've got some chopper video that we'd like to go to, and this is a live picture of our perspective from our chopper of an atmosphere that just is latent with two things. It's latent with heat, and like I said before, our current temperature downtown is 86 degrees. Been as warm as 87, and it is laden with moisture. You're looking at a thunderstorm. I think we're looking to the north, and that's where the storm is tracking through St. Charles County and is moving at 75 miles an hour through St. Charles County, where we've had reports of very large hail and golf ball size hail, and it is going to be tracking on into, it's going to cross the Mississippi River, of course, and for that matter the Missouri River too. And as it does that, it's going to be bringing, well, the potential for a golf ball size hail at least, and also winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. And there is that outside possibility. What you're looking at could arrive in southern Calhoun County, producing perhaps even a tornado. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect because this storm is moving to the northeast at 75 miles an hour all the way through the rest of St. Charles County, Greene County, Jersey County, and Macoupin County, even parts of northwestern Madison County, and a small section of the northern portion of St. Louis County. Here's this other line. You have two separate warnings west of St. Louis, but from one line of 3 supercells. So these storms sort of, while this one here going through St. Charles County is just cruising at 75 miles an hour, these are storms that are tracking slower. They're moving to the east-northeast at about 35 miles an hour. The latest report we have from the Weather Service is that this storm is capable of producing 60 miles an hour. We're also thinking about, because they're moving slower, the possibility of flash flooding. We don't have any flash flood warnings in effect, but these storms, because they're moving at 30 miles an hour, have the capacity of generating flash flooding, and especially on some of the lower spots on the roadways. So keep that in mind as well. Let's just zoom in tight and find out where the strongest portion of this line is. New Florence, Big Spring, you're dealing with the heart of this storm, and actually the middle of, in between of these two areas, south of Highway 70 and west of Highway 90, this is where the strongest portion of this cell is. Betcha that could produce golf ball size hail. Going back to the south a little bit farther, just getting into the northwestern portion of Gasconade County is another cell. The hail producing part of this cell, actually this little blip right here in northwestern Gasconade County, you know, it could produce some hail, but this is the guy here that's still just to the west of St. Louis over in Osage County, and that could be producing very large hail. You know, I had a report from Osage earlier of 2.5-inch diameter hail. This cell has a history of producing extremely large hail. Now, 2.5 inches, think of how large that is. That's like a softball. That is a grapefruit. That is a big hailstone. But it's also the case that it's part of a line that is taking advantage of all of the heat and humidity. Now, what do we have going sort of synoptically? What do we have going right now? Basically, in terms of the weather pattern itself, well, there's a cold front that is driving all of this, and actually right now, for our friends in Kansas City, they're looking at temperatures that are so much cooler than what we have right now. Let me just give you some numbers here. In our little town right here in St. Louis, the current temperature is 85. In Columbia, where the front is going through, it's 75. In Kansas City, right now, it's 43 degrees. Now, it's, in fact, Anthony has just pulled up a graphic for us. Look at, we're going to go to graphics, and I just want to show you just how much heat is available for these storms. So, Bob, push up that graphic for us right now. It'll show you the temperature outlay. That is the reason for the big problems we're having today, or at least it's a third of the reason. 87 here, temperatures of around 69 degrees in Columbia, 44 degrees in Kansas City, and temperatures are in the 30s in the central portions of Iowa. Let's go back to the radar, and I'm just going to reiterate, we have tornado warnings in effect to the north of St. Louis because we've had reports of tornadoes on the ground in Pike County, Missouri. That line has moved across the river. It's in the northern portion of Calhoun County. It's in Pike County, Illinois, and all of those places are looking at tornado warnings. We are about ready to start News Channel 5 at 5. Please stay with us.
In high definition, this is News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
A roof ripped from